リン、この
そうなの。最近入荷したばっかりでさ。だから誘ってくれてすっごく嬉しい。
一緒に見る。おかしく聞こえるかもしれないけれど、私
そんなのないない。
楽しむ。レビューにも友達と
そのレビューは額面通り受け取っちゃいけないかもね。それに誰かとホラーを見るとかえって怖い思いをすることもある。隣で急に大声出されたらそっちの方がよっぽどジャンプスケア。
そういうこともあるのね。リン、終わ
終わり？めちゃくちゃスリル
海の中で。
おなじみって？
その
そっか。それにしても
なんて言ったらいいのかな。目線が私、創作に触れるときは
そんなこと考えながら見られるってすごいよ。
そうね。例えば島に上陸する場面ではいきなりまずは命からがら陸に上がったそんな中一人が何かにつまずいて転ぶの。そこへ謎の影が海面をよぎってパニック。最後の一人が望みをかけて船に戻る。
希望を見せてか。
あとは結末も少し変えたいわね。こういうのはどうかしら。島から唯一脱出できた主人けど彼は気づかない。鏡の中の自分が不気味に冒頭の船と同じくらいボロボロで上陸できる島を見つけて、やっぱりみんなも
うそれプロのレベルじゃん。やっぱ鳥肌。
そういう光景を。
今なんか
もしかしたら影響を受けた作品があったのかもって。
私なら
急には思いつかないわよね。
セイレーンはもともと普通の女の子で主人公たちみたいに船で島に
そういうアイデアを下敷きにすれば島内での出来事にあら、もう名残惜しいわね。
お話を考えるのって楽しい。
もう今から楽しみ。
空間の裂け目はすでに安定期に入り通過が可能な状態です。
サラがイドリーの能力で割り出した目的。
始まりの主。
その目で見たものが何よりの勝査で。たとえ凡人だろうと偉業の成就に尽力する。あなたの望みも きっと叶うよ。
僕の望み。
そう、あなたの内なる悪魔、ずっと目を背けてきたもの。
そんな。ダメだ。
I assume something about his sister, right?
ダメだ。
それがもたらす最悪な結末。
やめてくれ。
こうならないことを望んでいるんでしょ。主から授かった権威なら、あなたの恐れは一時消し去れる。これで悪魔からは解放される。けれど妹さんと剣のつながりは主にしか断ち切れない。
Wait, sever the connection? I don't know, like, it's kind of weird, right? Because it's like, okay, she's all stabbed by that, but like, is there any proof that, like, this is actually prophetic, right? It might not be prophetic at all, it might just be his fear, right? It could be that his sister is sick or has been constantly been attacked by hollow creatures or whatever. So all these uncertainties in the past has led to him being afraid of her dying. I don't know, like, it's one of these things, especially something like this, where it's like, oh, hey, it's all about, this whole thing is about, like, protecting his sister. The problem with such a wish, especially when you obviously go with such an evil, manipulative person, right? The problem with a wish like that is his dream that, oh my sister got fucked over, right? It's like, going with her doesn't fix that. In fact, you do realize it could be that in your fear of losing your sister, you go along with someone who is the cause of her death, right? It could be that, yes, those dreams were prophetic. You know, your sister is going to die, but she only dies because your fears lead you to allying with the person who orchestrates her death, right? So it could be that if you never went along with her, if you had attacked her right then and there, right, your sister would be completely fine. It could be that your sister is at risk of being killed in a plan by the Creator, and the plan only comes to fruition because you, in your fear of your sister dying, help orchestrate her death, right? That's a fairly common trope, where it's like, yeah, you do so. It's a very common trope where, in your fear of the future, you end up causing it to happen, right? The actions you do to try to avoid a particular future is what ends up actually causing it to happen, right? Very, very common. Happens all the time. A lot of stories do shit like that. Second of all, right, did she actually say that she would stop that future from happening? No. She just said, I can stop it. I can stop your nightmares. I can stop you from worrying about this. That's not the same thing, you know? Yes, there's two ways to stop him from worrying. One, prevent that future from ever coming to fruition. Sure, right? Stop that. You know, protect the sister to make sure this never happens. Or B, literally stop him from being able to worry about it. Right? Remove all emotions. If he no longer cares about his sister, he's no longer worried about her life or death. Now, which do you think is more likely for an evil manipulative asshole like she is? Which do you think is more likely for her to do? Protect the girl, or just wipe you of all emotions? I wonder. So yeah, but yes, I mean, obviously, the reason why it works so well is because she is very manipulative. She's very good at being manipulative. Like, she manipulated that construction CEO she's been doing all the shit in the background. I mean, she manipulated Yukari. She's been doing all the shit on behalf of the creator for the longest time. So it's like, yeah, that's just it. He should be smarter than this. But in the presence of your fears, right? When you're constantly worried about it. Now it's easy. Basically, that is his crack. That is the chink in his armor. And she was able to worm in and manipulate it. So the question, of course, then is, well, what is this vision, right? Like, was that just a general fear of her actually dying? Or, because, like, those people have, like, that, Yishuan Summit, they do have powers. So it could be that he actually can predict the future. That could be his thing. He might have prophetic visions. So this could be like, oh shit, I'm just worried my sister dying, right? Okay. If there's some credence to that. But yeah, anyway, obviously. And that's the thing is, does it make sense for what happened to happen? Yeah, 100%, right? She is a manipulative bitch. She did what manipulative bitches do. Makes sense. He has this one weakness. It was manipulated in a fairly obvious way, but makes sense. Happens. This kind of shit happens. Why is he not critically thinking? Well, because it's like this is his weakness. He's not able to think rationally on such an emotional subject. So that's why he gets sucked away. And my bet is that what she did is she just removed his emotions, which makes him even more manipulatable. Because now, without the emotions that might have tied him to us, right? Without the emotions that would have been like, hey, because like thinking rationally, like without emotions whatsoever, if it's just like, okay, well, what does he really want? He wants his sister to survive. Well, if you were a sociopath, right? You would do anything to get your sister to survive, right? You'd be like, yeah, I'll kill 500 people. So that I can save my sister. My sister is worth more to me than 500 people. That's what a sociopath would do. So basically, by removing emotions and morality from him, it makes him even easier to manipulate because his goal is just protect the sister, right? So as long as the sister is alive, for whatever reason, right? Because like his prophetic dream might have been bullshit right from the get-go, right? It might have just been created by his own insecurities and worry over his sister, right? So it's hard to say. So we don't even know if that would happen. So it's super easy to manipulate because it's a goal that can stay forever. Now, if Sarah's smart, she'll try to keep her alive too, so she can keep using this dude. But, at the end of the day, I don't think she cares that much whether he's on her side or not. If the sister dies and he... And it could also be like the Darth Vader thing, right? Where it's like, sure, she made him turn to the dark side. Once he does a few evil things, even if the sister dies, and the sister in this case would be an analogy to Padme, even if she dies, because he's committed so much evil, he's already kind of like on the path, right? So, even though it makes no sense, right? It's oh yeah, it seems like in your fury you killed her. He's like, no, and then continues to do more evil, right? The whole reason you were even listening to the dude, listening to the Emperor, was because he promised you the ability to save her. Now that she's dead, I'd be like, oh, okay, well then fuck you then. You promised to save her, you didn't, fuck, I'm not going to listen to you ever again, right? That's what I would do. I'd be like, oh, I only did all these evil things just to try to save her. Now that she's dead, there's really no purpose. There's really no reason for me to listen to you anymore. But no, he still continues on, right? And, it's kind of like foot in the door psychology, where it's like, yeah, you've already committed an evil act. You're like, well, and like, sunk cost fallacy too. A bit of that, where it's like, oh, I already did all these bad things anyway, so might as well stay. That kind of shit. So even if the sister does end up dying, it could be that he's like, well, fuck, she was my only reason to exist. He might then just be, hateful against the world that causes. So he could still end up being allying her side, just to be like, well, fuck the world that killed my sister, you know. So it's just like that's why you gotta like stop, nip this shit in the bud before it goes too far. But at this point, it's already too late. He's already been influenced, and who knows what other shit he's been doing. But yeah, and we don't really know much about his sister too. For some reason, I thought he said she was sick, but then she like pops up seemingly fine. But then I've also seen her like burst animations, or her like hair goes white and shit, and she like summons a shitload of swords. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe that power is like killing her or something. But yeah, presumably we'll get a little more information about him and her. She looks totally fine, right? Like she looks completely healthy. Going around in exposed skin like this doesn't seem like she's like ill or anything. And she was pretty energetic when we were introduced to her. So she's probably. So I would assume that it's her power that's the problem. And who knows? Like maybe it's not even that. And I think that's the whole thing. It's like she was stabbed with a lot of swords. Well, what does she do? Well, she summons a lot of swords. So it could be that she killed herself in a way, like in an attempt to stop him. Either that, or like in summoning her swords, they would get turned on her by a powerful entity and run her through. Hard to say. Like hard to say if that dream is a really prophetic dream, and that's like literally how she's gonna die, or it's just supposed to be a figurative death. But I assume it's going to be more literal. I assume that's going to happen at some point. But we'll see. I also dislike this. Tell her immediately. It's like, oh, it would ruin her mood. It's like, I'm sorry, but is there ever a situation where telling her wouldn't ruin her mood? Also, it's like, oh, well, she's in a good mood right now. It's like, okay, so your other options are telling her when she's in a bad mood. So she's already in a bad mood, and you're going to say, oh, yeah, by the way, I know you're in a bad mood, but I think your brother betrayed the sect. It's like, no. There's never a good situation about this shit, so you should always say it immediately. You should always tell it right away, because it's another trope that happens fairly frequently in stories, where they're like, oh, nah, it's not a good situation to say this, so we're not going to say it, right? And so they don't say it. And then you know what happens? The enemy says it, right? Or they hear it in a situation when they're already distraught, right? So shit's already hitting the fan, and then that's when someone brings up this other big thing of bad news, which can sometimes send that person over the edge, right? So if you told them ahead of time, they might have freaked out, then they would have come to terms with it, and they would have had the time to, deal with it, and then, and then continue with their life, right? Rather than if you don't tell her, she could be told the same information, when you're in the middle of battle, right? Like you're in the middle of a hollow fight, even if it's a hollow fight not related to Sarah or her brother, they're in the middle of a hollow fight when someone comes out and says this shit, she makes a mistake and gets injured because she was distracted and was not able to deal with the information you told them. So it's like, yeah, it's never a good idea to fucking wait on this shit. It's always bad. Well, I say always bad. Realistically, what I mean is that there's never an advantage to doing it later. It's always neutral or worse. You either create a equal or worse situation by waiting, right? There's never a situation where it's like, phew, because we didn't say it then, we're fine now. Now, to be fair, it's hard to say, right? Because most stories will opt for the waiting. So we rarely have an instance where they actually do tell them the information. And if you want to theory craft and be like, what's the worst that could happen? Well, we could tell her now, right? And she could then rush off to her brother and put herself in danger, right? So that could be a worse situation, right? Sure, you're telling her this might get her to do something she might have not otherwise done, and put herself at risk. Although, still, even if she rushes off emotionally like that, she would still be in a better mental state than being told something like this in the middle of battle, or meeting her brother and having her brother attack her in a big epic fight, and have that be her first introduction to, oh yeah, by the way, your brother probably betrayed us, right? Or at the very least betrayed the sect, if not her. So it's just it's just never a good idea to wait on this shit, but it is such a trope. It is such a narrative trope that it's like, oh, well, we have bad information about shit like this, so we're gonna wait. Oh, no, it's not a good time to tell. It's like, no, there's never a good time to tell. There's never a good time to tell anyone that their sibling, might have betrayed your friends, right? There's no good time to say these things. So you might as well tell them now, at a time where it won't matter too much. Oh, Polion, yeah. The one here is Bellion. Bellion, Spolion. Okay.
うん、もちろんいいよ。
もっとき
じゃあ名残惜しいけど、これからは私のこと先輩って呼ぶの禁止。特にあの放任主義が服着て歩いてるような師匠。
No, I mean,
よっぽど春光に目を光らせてるんだね。
well, first of all, I didn't expect her to be so protective, really. Like, when we were at risk, she fucking showed up all of a sudden to fucking save us, right? Like, no, she's very clearly very protective of everyone. But this is really suspicious, right? The fact that she's like, hey, I escaped, and that if they found out, they would take me back, like, why? Like, she was protective of us when we were at risk doing shit in the Hollow. Sure, she came to help us, but actually that was to protect us. She didn't, like, didn't stop us. I think it's incredibly suspicious that she needs to be taken back. So I think whatever turns her hair white is she's probably possessed by something, right? Or maybe that's the embodiment of her power, and her power is, like, killing her. So, like, it's the kind of thing where maybe she needs, like she needs ult training. She needs a lot of training so that she can control her power, because if she doesn't control it, it'll kill her or something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But no, like, see, obviously, a smart person would ask, why? Why would she take you back, right? You know? Because, Yishuan wouldn't do that for no reason. There has to be a reason. And a pretty compelling one. If she found out she was here, she'd rush over and to bring her back. Like, that's, you know, like, if there wasn't a very important reason, she would have just been like, hey, we found where you are, please come back, right? You know, she would just be like a letter or something like that. Or send a disciple to, you know, say, hey, come on, stop skipping your training type shit. The fact that she'd personally come and bring her back is incredibly suspicious, and you should ask questions. But I get it, right? Technically, also, Belle and Wise are not really known for being smart, right? So having them do the smart thing, and having them not do the smart thing is not out of character. Like, what I don't like is when characters in the game act stupid, they act stupid. You know, I don't like it when they act stupid, out of character, right? When they're like, oh, they intentionally do something dumb to make sure the plot goes forward, you know? Like, I would argue that Yidhari going back with that dude was stupid, right? But Yidhari is also kind of spacey, so it's like it's not super out of character. So even though she did something stupid, it's not totally out of character for her. Also, because we didn't really know her that well, so it's like, okay, that makes sense to a degree. So that's fine. But there definitely are situations where you're just like, okay, this is the stupidest thing in the world. Like, why the fuck did you do something like that? Like, that just makes no fucking sense. No one could be that stupid. You know? And your character is not stupid. Like Alice, for instance. Alice is very intelligent, but she's not very savvy. So I can see her being tricked into something. But if it comes down to her actually, like, reasoning skills, she should be, you know stuff like that. So her doing something stupid would be less likely unless she's, like, tricked or is too nice and is going along with someone, right? That type of shit. So I definitely don't like that. So honestly, so the smart thing to do would be ask her, well, why is she trying to take you back? And, you know, but then again, Bella's not also smart because the reason why is obvious, right? If she asked why, I would imagine she would actually say why. I would imagine Shunguan would probably tell her, right? Oh yeah, it's because of, like, this power inside me. I don't know. She might try to hide the subject too, but, like, I imagine is that it's the power that, like, makes her hair go white and shit like that. That's probably dangerous and is probably killing her, and that's why she's kept there to either keep the power under wraps or to train her so that she can keep the power under wraps. Stuff. I imagine, like, that's the reason, right? But they don't want to tell us that now. They want to be like, no, we want this to be some big reveal later. Much like the reason why we didn't tell her that her brother, betrayed the sect, is because it's going to come up in a very inopportune moment so that it will like progress the story. So it'll be a bigger reveal. Oh, it's going to be more epic. Like she's going to find out a really bad situation, like at a very inopportune time, and then make some stupid decision because of it, right? Like, and then that will carry the plot forward, right? I don't like when they do that. I'd rather them just write a good plot rather than rely on gimmicky bullshit like this. Like, I mean, this isn't like the worst. Like, it's whatever, right? It's a trope because lots of people do it, so it's not inherently bad per se. But yeah, it is dumb. Like, you should do the smart thing. But if everyone did the smart thing in stories would be shorter and less impactful. So it needs a good writer to write it in a way that is smart but also compelling. That the conflict still happens because of an intelligently designed method, right? Where it's like, oh, well, actually, even if we tell her this, right, it would still lead the plot forward. Like, and because basically it's a gimmicky reveal, right? It's a gimmicky reveal that is only a big reveal because of a stupid action in the past. Whereas, like, there are honestly good reveals, like Sarah getting the, like, Isolde being Meperak that was a pretty big reveal. Like, I wouldn't have expected that. Like, because that was the first time we ever saw the whole like symbol on the hand thing. It was like, oh, that's like an embodiment of the creator's power. Like, that's interesting. So we never even thought of something like that. So that was a good big reveal, and it was intelligently done because it didn't rely on people acting stupid for us to understand this shit. So anyway, let's continue.
閉じ込められちゃったって、ポーセルメックスは今操業を停止してるんじゃなかった？いや、
生産エリアの方じゃない。航空跡地はかなり古い鉱山で、というのもあそこじゃ10年前宮妻の大量発生で多くの鉱夫やその家族が命を落としたんだ。最近あの辺の宮妻が沈静、それでピンときたマネージャーか何かが状況をろくに確かめないまま再開。10年前の事故を生き延びた甲府連中の中にはこの機会けどこんなことになるなんて。
I mean, I would understand it if the manager was like, oh, I know, rather than, because like going in to restart the mining operation goes against the orders of the work stoppage. So the manager would get shit. That would be the stupidest thing the manager could do. Now, what would be relatively smart is if the manager's like, hey, if it thinned out, we'll go in and get the mining equipment, right? Because the mining equipment is it costs a pretty penny, right? So if they can recover the mining equipment and bring it back to Porcelainics, that was something I could understand that they would be happy about. They'd be like, oh, cool, you were able to recover our equipment. Fine, sure, there's a work stoppage order, but that doesn't go. But retrieving our equipment doesn't really, I would not really say that would go against the order. So it's a way to bring back value to the company without violating the order. But to send them in to continue the mining, well, that flies in the face of a direct order not to do that. So that is dumb. So obviously, I just described the better way to write it. Of yes, go in to recover equipment. Like that's all you needed to have done. Yes, the manager sent people in to recover the equipment that had been lost in there. Sure, because like mining equipment is still useful, right? Now it's 10 years old mining equipment, so I'd imagine it's not as useful as new stuff. But either way, like it's still worth it. It should still be worth something. So I think that's poor writing. I think, especially and that's what kind of is annoying too when you get writing like that, where it's like all you have to do is change the sentence, right? All you have to do is change the sentence from great idea to send see if they can start things up again, right? No, like, oh yes, I'm a promotion-hungry manager, and I think going against a direct order against what I'm about to propose is a good idea, right? I think ignoring a company rule handed down by tops and the head of our company, I think that will definitely get me a promotion. Yes, who doesn't want to promote a manager who defies a direct order? It's like, no, that's fucking stupid. You have to be a complete fucking moron to think that's good. Whereas the easier thing is it'd be a great idea to send a team in and see if they could recover the equipment from the site, right? Perfectly fine. Doesn't defy an order and brings back value to the company. That would be something that could actually make sense. And it would only be changing a small portion of this one sentence, and that would be it. So like that. I think that's dumb, right? It's obviously dumb. They obviously said something stupid. They shouldn't have said that. Like, basically, to a very, very small degree, right? It's exactly what I was saying, right? Where it's like, yes, a character acted stupid so the plot could progress, right? This manager acted stupid so that there'd be a reason for us to go out and do something about it, right? That's the thing. Now, the problem with that is that, yes, you had the manager act stupid, but you need it to be acting stupid, right? As I said, like I changed that one sentence, and instantly he's no longer being stupid. Well, he's still being stupid, right? It's still a risk. Like, you're still risking people's lives. But at least you're not defying a direct order, which would make it incredibly stupid, because no company is going to want to promote someone who ignores company rules, right? It's like, like workplace harassment, and you're like, oh yeah, the company has a rule against harassment, but I'm just going to harass 500 employees. That'll be fine, right? Like, I want a promotion, and the only way I can get promoted is if I harass 500 employees. So that's just what I'm going to do. And the company's going to be so impressed by my results that they're going to ignore the 500 company violations. It's like, no, most companies won't do that.
さっきの場ではちょっと言いづらかったことが、私とお兄ちゃんはね、英地区に来て私たちプロ棋士でも。
Oh, that's what you're gonna tell her. I thought you were gonna tell her about her brother. You should tell her about her brother first.
そういうこと。さっきの
I mean, to be fair, I think I can understand why she might think it'd be fine not to tell her about her brother right now, at the very least, because it seems unlikely that her brother is involved in this random thing. But $10 says that in the process of going and saving these people, we're gonna meet her brother, and then she's gonna freak the fuck out, and it's like, yeah, if only we told her.
私もお兄ちゃん先生の教え子が困ってるな。そっか。
マスター、通信対象。
ってフェアリーは言ってるけど、
フェアリーって
おい。
ありがとうフェアリー。でも私
That's an interesting idea. Which hand you grip when you get nervous? I wonder if I have a preference. I would assume right because I'm right-handed. But I wonder if I do have a habit of that. If I get angry and clench my fists, do I do it with both hands all the time? Do I do one hand then the other? Do I do just one hand? Interesting. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, I am curious. It makes you think about like these little unconscious actions you have that you're just not even aware of.
リンは先に春光先輩とフォローへ入っ。
オッケー。
Ah, shit, it's been 51 minutes. I probably shouldn't have gone in. This is not going to finish in 10 minutes.
Hana, 前にも見たこと、前にカンさんもラマニアンの宮崎、これもその前触れなのかな。一度宮崎、
そういうこと？そんなことより人助けだよね。
White flower. Wait, are those the same flowers that where Flora was found? Because I thought there was like some flowers that appeared there, or maybe. Oh wow! Look at that thing. Or maybe the flowers are maybe the flowers are something that both of them saw. So maybe because like we personally were at ground zero of the Hollow, right? So maybe she was as well. She might have been in the Institute with us, perhaps. And so maybe in our escape from Hollow Zero, we came across flowers like that. Are those the white flowers? They look more blue to me. $10 says that's the manager. That's a really interesting fighting style, actually, you know? So, like, just put your hand through it, have it reappear. Because, like... Because there's been, like, shit like that before, right? There's been shit like that where basically, like, a really good fighter will, like, open up portals and punch, but usually it's just, like, their fist comes through. So all it is just bridging the gap, but it's just your normal fist. So for hers to enlarge, it's slightly different. But it can obviously make it really interesting. So I think that fighting style is really interesting. So I am curious how she plays in actual combat. If she does shit like that, I'm not gonna pull for her because I don't want her. I'm saving for Sharingan because she looks cooler. Her burst mode looks really cool.
査定がどれだけ大事か分かってるか。
はいはい、大丈夫ですから黙っててもらっていいですか。後で適当におべっか使ってればなんとかなるなんて。
やらかした。
Yeah, he's obviously the manager. Really? Oh my god. See, like this. I mean, obviously, this guy's a moron, right? So let's make the question, how the fuck do you become a moron when you're this fucking stupid? But he could have been promoted to a position he's not good at, or maybe he's a fine manager when things are normal, when he has a set routine where it's like, yes, just create schedules, pay your employees, and just do whatever. And now with the work stoppage, he has time to think, and he's like, oh, well, and obviously he's a complete idiot. Because the fact is, like, dude, what do you mean reckless? Like, dude, you literally almost died. The fact that you can't even recognize how reckless your plan is after almost dying shows how fucking stupid you are.
まあとはいえ、あらゆるクレームに対して最も迅速。あんたの知能は未就学児レベルですから、ぜひ私のことはチーク。おば。ダイアリンだ。また会ったね。生きていくのって大変ですよね。うん、ここに閉じ込められてる人がいる。私はただクレーム対応。でもまあ知らない中でもと引き受けたそばから。
Oh, is that not a front? I thought she was just lying. Like, I thought that was just a front. I mean, maybe it is a front. Like, maybe all of the Krampus agents do have an actual job, and Krampus is just their active. Krampus is their real job, but they have a fake job to make it, to hide themselves. Oh wow, she does do her little fist thing. That's pretty cool. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this gauge? Oh, I see. I gotta do it multiple times. Whoops. Oh, okay. So basically, I have to wait till the gauge is super full, and then I gotta, like, blast it. Attack multiple times. さては音楽さんの先生だったり？はい。音楽さんって違う。あちゃ。That's pretty cool. That's a pretty flashy attack. I'm still confused by the gauge though. They were like, oh yeah, just attack. I mean, I assume that little tick is the 90%, and once it gets above there, then it does the chain attack, or maybe it only does the chain attack once I've done my third EX special. I'm actually surprised he's even here, right? This moron is so fucking stupid, you would think he would just send them in without himself, you know? So, but then again, I guess he is that stupid that because obviously it's dangerous. Like, why the fuck would you go into a dangerous location? Even if the miasma is lowered, it's like, yeah, but like it was covered with miasma. Like, it still makes it dangerous.
3章回はもう壊滅したはずなのに。3章回ですか？防衛軍が1も良くないですよね。そこのあなた、 早く白状しなさいよ。ここで何をしようとしてたの？
何？まだ小っぱではないか。
おとなしく白状し。ですね、お二人さん。尋問、まあいいじゃないですか。私たちにとって有益な情報とはいえ、参照会のお客様は聞くところによると随分、今のお客様は言うなれば会社が潰れたのに社長の借金を払わされてるような。
Uh-oh. So yeah, I mean, obviously we knew that this was going to involve her brother, because why would they bring back her brother? Why would we even mention at the beginning, oh, we should tell her about her brother? And I've seen that, like, her brother is one of the, I don't know, it's a new boss fight, so it's like, okay, so we're going to have to fight him, because I did see him in his blackened form, like, his black outfit and black hair, and looks all evil looking and all that shit. So it's like, yeah, we're going to fight him. So that was kind of spoiled to me, so I already knew that. So it is just like, yeah. And that's what makes it so annoying, where it's like, yeah, we had the opportunity to tell her, and we should have told her, and now it's going to be some big fucking reveal where she's going to make a stupid mistake, get injured, and then we're fighting on the back foot, you know, to protect her. And it's like, yeah, and if we told her ahead of time, she might have at least, you know, had enough wherewithal to defend herself. Because she wouldn't be super surprised. She would still be surprised, obviously, and might still make a mistake, because it is her brother, and she might have still been holding out a candle in her heart that, yes, maybe her brother would never do something like this. But still, you know, it's just like you should have told her. And I can understand, like, going in here, yeah, you wouldn't think it'd be related to Sarah or her brother, but now it is, so it's like, shit, it's like, next time you have a break, you should have broached the subject.
サラ様のご指示はたった一つ。もはやサラ様自身でも何を探していらっしゃるのかわからないんじゃないか。なんてことだ。
I'm really curious, who was the one who did the Hollow Zero catastrophe? Because Sarah seems too young, and if she only got the mark just now, it seems like it's very unlikely. And it also seems unlikely that Isolde was likely converted after the Hollow Zero catastrophe. She got disillusioned with humanity. So someone must have done it, and I would assume it has to be someone close to Carol, our teacher. My theory was always Carol was researching it, right? Carol was researching the other realm where hollows are connected to, and I just assumed it was like a lab assistant or something, or maybe another fellow professor who like snuck in and like did something which exacerbated her experiment, or caused her experiment to fail, which caused a catastrophe. So it might be that. And that's why she's blamed, is like, oh, she was the head scientist looking into this thing, and her experiment failed, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't her, right? I assume it was a lab assistant or someone else, basically the first Exaltus, presumably, who then fucked things up, made things worse, and allowed the creator a bigger window into this world. But then it does beg the question of, like, okay, well, Sarah, again, seems too young, because this happened 10 years ago. So someone had to have like led the Exaltus before, and one would think, oh, maybe it's Mebarak, right? Because like he's the one who seemed to be controlling the people then. But like it seems unlikely that Isolde started as the head at that point, like immediately afterwards, right there. Now maybe the research assistant or a fellow scientist who fucked up Carol's research, maybe they died, you know, in the process in the Hollow Zero catastrophe. But yeah, like the fact that we haven't seen them at all or heard mention of them is kind of weird. Although, to be fair, we haven't really heard much about the catastrophe origin story at the moment anyway. Maybe he's talking to Sarah. Maybe Sarah will have heard it from the person who did it. Maybe from the head Exaltus. We'll see. Like, it'll probably be at the end of this chapter. Because like that's kind of how they did it at the end of season 1. They were just like, oh yeah, it's the end of season 1. Now we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of continuity, learning a little bit more about Carol. And like that's again why we came to Wi-Fi Peninsula. Is like, oh, we learned a little bit about our teacher had been seen here, and we did see her briefly in the whole Isolde saga. So I assume at the end of this season, in the epilogue portions, where they might be doing another few sprinkle of lore to kind of get us excited for season 3.
一からやり直すか。サラ様のおかげで。
今。
これもまた不思議な話なんだが、ネボラク様が落ちてしまわれた後、サラ様はそれを。
Oh wait, what? Oh, probably in that flashback. Huh. And that's the thing, is it freed him from his nightmares. It's like, yeah, but like, your nightmares are your fear. Your nightmares are caused by your emotions. She could have freed you from your nightmares and just your emotions in general, right? You could be just a hollow husk, just listening to follow orders. You know, sure, you don't have any nightmares, but you also don't have any free will anymore, you know? Is that really living? Also, it's just like, oh, cool, she freed you from your nightmares. Oh, that's so nice of her. Well, she's such a nice person. You know, do you realize the Exaltus were the orchestrators of Hollow Zero? Thousands, tens of thousands of people died because of that. They are continuously experimenting on people. They are evil assholes who continuously murder and fuck over people. And it's like, yeah, sure, they might have done all that stuff, but she removed my she got rid of my nightmares, so I guess that's pretty even, right? It's like, dude, fuck that, no, she's an asshole. No matter what she does, first of all, no matter what she does or whatever she promises, you know, you can't trust it, right? She removed your nightmares, but it's a very much a monkey paw situation where it's like, sure, she removed your nightmares, but at what cost? Especially when your nightmares are about a potential future. It's just like, dude, what makes you think a future, you know, what makes you think helping someone who's trying to destroy the future is going to help your future, right? You're worried about the future, but you're helping someone who's actively trying to destroy it, right? Who's actively trying to destroy the future for humanity. And you're like, yeah, surely someone like that is going to help fix my nightmare about the future. It's like, dude, yeah, whatever, right? But yeah, like, you could argue that she was able to get into that crack, and then once she like touched her hand to him, he was already lost at that point. It's like, yeah, fine, sure. She was able to say the right things to make him lower his guard so that she could sneak in and do that, and now he's basically fucked and can't resist. Like, he's lost the emotions to need. He's lost the emotion, so he doesn't really see her wiping out and fucking over fuckloads of people as a problem anymore, because he no longer has any empathy left to give a shit about anything else besides what he wants. And in which case, it's like, yeah, perfect soldier for doing evil things.
マスターの心拍数が1分間に140回まで急このままあなた様が話題を変え
No, you should tell her again. This is why you should have told her before you even came in here. The second you saw her, you should be, hey, actually, there's something we really need to tell you. This is also the other time to tell her, you know. This is the other time to tell her when it's still relatively safe. Because it's like, because the stupid thing, of course, is that, like, it's a relatively safe situation to tell her now. But you know what's not a safe situation? When you finally actually meet the dude. When you finally actually meet the dude, and she fucks up because she wasn't prepared for it. You know?
次はトロッコを押して瓦礫のとこに持ってけばいいんだよね。
Oh, I see. I was gonna say, like, is it supposed to get destroyed when we, like, are we supposed to push it and it's supposed to, like, hit it and get destroyed? Or how is that supposed to work? But it's like, oh, okay.
Minasan, 助けてくれてありがとう。
オペレーター番号2493カスタマーサポートのダイヤリンです。ご丁寧にどうもどうも。タイトルはそうですね。あんまり大げさだとシステムに弾かれちゃうので。気にしないで。トップスで私はリン、雲岳さんの弟子で。あ、そうそう。それとこの子は。
そうか。ただ折あしくけど恥ずかしい話。
道場の師範って
いかにも。
私たちみんな番楽。
そうか。弱敗なりに足を引っ張らないよう頑張れ。
Wow, I see here.
あまり気負わないでね。人手が増えるだけでも大助かりなんだから。またですか。しつこいやつ。カスタマーサポートにとっておサボりタイムは貴重なんですよ。
Oh, that's a really cool attack. Is Sarah trying to influence her, or is this the Tajishi? Is it our senior brother? And again, it's nothing. Yeah, it's again, if you had mentioned, oh, it was really weird, in the middle of battle, I started hearing a voice in my head. You know, you could alert people, oh, shit. Because other people might have come across a similar situation, right? And they might be like, oh, actually, I know what this is. You know, it happened after I first spoke with this or that person, right? You know, I never really liked that whole, oh yeah, like, something happened to me, but I'm just not going to tell anybody about it. Yeah, sure, not telling them might fuck them over later, but like, you know, it's like, dude, just tell people. Yeah, you're in the middle of battle here. Don't fuck around and keep things hidden.
敵に望むは両の手で水をたでしょ。万学先生、相手の実力とかは
あれからもう我が輩はおよそ死などと呼べるものではなかった。今もささやかな道場にて
謙遜しすぎだよ。
おお、春光先生は今イーシェン総主。
文学さんですか。実は文学さんの楊春光さん。生命権？どうしたの？生命権の代償は。
Oh, I see. It's the sword. Yeah, that was the sword her sister used, wasn't it?
戦っちゃったけど体はなんともない。ごめんね。いやいや、落ち着いちゃったら生命権の怖い話だけして心配しないで。この大きな鞘はね、身を守るだけならこの剣冠そのものを操るだけでいいし、封印を破って剣を。
Oh, I see. So that's why her hair goes white. That's why her hair goes white in her ultimate, is because she's actually drawing the sword from the case, probably. I mean, it does beg the question of like, okay, so if you have the sword sealed within the case, why are you even using it? Like, just use another sword, right? Like, yeah, I keep this incredibly deadly weapon that will kill me if I ever draw it, and I use it to fight. It's like, or you could just not use that sword, right? You could just use another sword, you know, a sword that isn't cursed.
とはいえ春光よ、用心を。
大丈夫。そうみんなには申し訳ないんだけど、私が永飛地区にいること、できれば他の人には内緒にしてもらえる？
よもやお主、許しなく山を降りたのではあるまいな。
すいません、お話中。あんまり部外者がいてもあれですし、まだやらなきゃいけないこともあるので、お先に失礼しますね。そっか。いえ、こちらとしてもそうそうたる顔。
師範、救助必要。
それじゃせっかちなお目付け役に会いに行きましょうか。どうだったダイヤちゃん。いい人に見えてましたか？点数かもすっかり夢中なんだから。任務ですか。ダイヤちゃん、黒枝の採血官なら誰の意志に従うかなんて考えるまでもないよね。冗談ですってば。そう思うの？ほんとザオちゃん先輩。バカ。もうターゲットは目と鼻の先です。ミスミス逃がし。早い？君だって 先輩が取ってきてくれた情報は正確そのものですよ。ただ確認を要する面倒事が一つ増えちゃった。面倒事？ザオちゃん先輩は聞いてないですか？さっきフォローの中でなんか変な声。フォローの中で死んじゃった人の子。違いますって。まったく傷つきますね。自分の声。自分の声。はい。だから面白いなーって思ったんですよね。もしかして私とっくに死んじゃってるんで。ダイヤちゃん、事情は分かったけど、もちろんですよ。そうそう。ダイヤちゃんがタイミングよく登場できたのは、ザオちゃんそういう。
Are those flowers absorbing the lantern? Or...
それに蒸気兵には何年も戻って。
さようか。お主がここにいること。本当？ただし軽々しく危うきに近づいてはならぬ。生命権。
約束する。
それで捕まえた三将会の残党だけどどうしようか。
その前に
私も。
Oh, okay. She's finally gonna tell her. Okay, it's not gonna be some huge reveal at the stupidest moment.
釈円は慎重な男だが。
シュウコ怒ってないの？もうこれなんか隠してるなって気づいた。
I mean, yeah, he could have done this, and it could be like Darth Vader, where he like betrays the Emperor at the end after countless atrocities. Maybe he did this and was like, "Yep, I'm knowing." Maybe he thought he could resist, and then thinking that he could stab her in the back at the best moment. Maybe gets lost. Maybe gets remembers himself and does it. Who knows?
ごめんね。私もお兄ちゃんもどうしたら。
分かってる。私が衝動的に。あなたもこれから先。約束よ。ねえあなた、さっき。
確かそんな名前だった。よそから収
子替え。
もちろん。
そう。それで古の陣とや。
サラ様が長期兵の市場から奇妙な本を持って戻られた後、急に探せ。それ以外のことは自分にわかるわけないだろ。そんな高い地位に。
お兄ちゃん、どうして
あるいは三将会の残党を撃つ。
そうだとしたら。
それかイーシェン。
前に幻で見た時ね、釈円さんは誰かを救いたいって言ってたの。それが悪夢にうなされてたこととも関係あるみたいで。
悪夢？
シュンコ辛い。私も小耳に挟んだだけだし、どこまで。
それなら
Oh, maybe the sword is what keeps her alive or something. She can't use it. Kill her even faster.
三将会の残党も責任をも。
まあいい。
or maybe maybe it's bound to her. So maybe the second it left her sister, it bound. Maybe it always has to have a host, and so it'll always do this no matter what. So they were finally able to restrain it and not actively kill the host when not in use.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
ボディがお留守なのだわ。はっ、ふん、やっ、はっ、死角から来るのだわ。完璧なシンメトリー。
Yeah, also such a good unit for these type of things. Because she starts with a full charge. So because she starts with a full charge, can basically freely kill the first wave. Now for these ones, for the ones that are actually like semi-bosses, for the ones that are semi-bosses, when you're farming skill materials, you have to fight 2 random ads and 1 actual elite. You usually can't kill the elite in that first round, but usually bring it low enough so it dies pretty quickly, and then you can do a quick rotation around. Get Alice to charge up her second round, and then her second round usually with the buff she gets from her allies as part of the rotation you did before will give you enough time to yeah, it's super quick. Like even Miyabi. Miyabi was the best. Was a pretty good one too. She starts with 3 of 6 charges for her thing, but she still does need to charge it a bit. So you either need to do a skill and get a Zora proc, which is kind of tough to do because disorders are only procced from having one type of element and then applying the other. You basically have to apply 2 types of elements, or you have Yanagi. Yanagi can trigger it too. But again, that means you have to swap and do that shit, so it's a little more involved to actually trigger. Anyway, that'll be it. Jesus Christ, ended up walking for an hour and a half. I'm a little tired. But that was interesting. I'm glad they actually told her about her brother. Because that's the kind of trope that happens at the worst possible times, where it's like, oh, well, we didn't want to tell you because we didn't want to ruin your mood or do this or that, and then you get into a big fight, and you're fighting off tons of ethereals, and then the brother appears and fucks them over, and just because of the surprise, she ends up getting injured that she might have at least been somewhat prepared for. So she got injured when she might have avoided it because we chose to hide it. So the fact that despite us hiding it early on, it didn't mean anything. So hiding it didn't change anything. And another reason why you do it, you hide it, is to create the suspense, right? Oh, I'm hiding stuff. Now I'm super suspenseful. Sure, they get a little nervous, all that stuff. And I think this was handled correctly. This is the way to do it, right? Where you hide it. Hiding it doesn't cause problems, but it does add to the tension of the situation because she's not aware of this stuff. But then you still tell her before it actually becomes a problem. And so yeah, and then yeah, so the sword is interesting because yeah, obviously I recognized it as her sister's sword, but obviously her sister died using it. So the question is that like, does it always have to have a host? Maybe that's it, you know. So maybe it wasn't her choice to be the host of the sword. Maybe it's just like, oh, once the sister died, it just bound to her next, and maybe that's why she's been like sick and not doing well and stuff, and that's why her brother's constantly worried about her. Is that her being stabbed by those swords? There's basically the physical manifestation of her being taken over by that sword, basically with the sword killing her. That could be it, you know. It could be that was the King Ming sword. You know, that nightmare is him worried that his sister is going to be taken over and erased by that sword, like Yishuan's sister was. So that is interesting, and the fact that if it automatically binds no matter what. I mean, it could be that it binds on whoever touches it next. So maybe, you know, she was saved in the Hollow Zero catastrophe by the sister, and then when the sister died and the sword fell to the ground, the little tiny girl picked it up and tried to like give it to maybe Yishuan, but because she touched it, you know, she is now regarded as the new host, and now finally she's able to kind of get out and escape. Because they were able to find a method of creating a scabbard that could contain its power. That could be it. You know, we'll see. Obviously, in her animations we've seen so far, we've basically seen her thigh mark glow and her hair turn white. I assume that's her like actually a manifestation of her actually using the sword's power. So it is interesting to see what's going to happen and how they're going to bridge the gap between this patch and the next patch, because she's going to be the playable character in the next patch, I believe. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. But thank you all for watching. I will be back on shortly to play some more Ghost of Yotei. We'll see if I can. I'm going to first farm for all the Ainu items I'm missing, because it seems like I've done everything beyond beating Takezo, which is the hardest challenge of the game, and the final main story. Because it seems like I've done all the exploration available. It is just the main story at this point. And I'm not sure how long that's going to take, so I'm going to do the Ainu items first, ease myself into it, and then do the main story. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.